Welcome to the Nerd Party.
I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Philip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
And this is City Alpha 3.
Hello, and welcome to City Alpha 3, a Star Trek podcast here on the Nerd Party. I'm your host, Philip Gilfus, joined by Darren Moser and Daniel Prue. Gentlemen, how has another July of Star Trek gone for you?
Well, it's not directly Trek related, but I have started watching.
Is it star related?
I mean, it has a star from Trek in it. So I've been watching a few random episodes of Mission Impossible, the TV show, which, as some people may know, Mr. Spock, Leonard Nimoy himself, joined right after he left Star Trek in the 60s. So I haven't gotten to any of his episodes yet, but it was always fun where I was like, oh, I recognize that actor, and he's allowed to, he still doesn't smile a lot, but you know, it's very interesting seeing him in that exact same era in a different role.
What about you, Daniel? Are you watching TJ Hooker?
No, I don't. I don't watch things that are old. Well, that's actually not true. I'm watching Deep Space Nine, which itself is very old, but not that old.
Trek doesn't count. Trek is a loophole in that
20th century television programming.
That's right. So we're still plugging along. Just watched that really sort of forgettable episode where O'Brien is goes undercover with the Orion Syndicate, and he gets a cat.
Yeah,
that's really the only important thing that comes out of that episode. But we've done cats before in Star Trek. We'll do them again, I'm sure. So,
I'm thinking all the cat episodes because we have a lot of Spot. We have this cat, Voyager,
Cat's Paw.
That's true. TOS.
Yeah.
I can't think of. I mean, obviously you have Maress from TAS. Yeah. And then you have Dr. Tana, is that her name, from Lower Decks. Right,
that's true. Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
Cat.
The ones from Star Trek 5 and 2009 as well.
Oh, the Cations, yeah.
So I thought we'd get into two things today, and so there's no rhyme or reason of how we want to mix it up. But a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about the challenges of Paramount Plus.
It's gotten
streaming.
So much worse.
Yes, it's gotten so much worse. As folks know, the writers had been on strike for several months. But the actors, SAG-AFTRA, SAG-AFTRA, are now on strike. And so, the writers are important, but one, especially that plus the actress, really puts things to a halt. So, which, whatever. I mean, good for them. They're fighting for what they are. That's not what we're going to talk about. We're not going to be talking labor management, but we are going to be talking about obviously it affects things, and obviously, the writers and actors maintaining a living is more important than us watching our silly things on TV. But that's what we're going to talk about. So, the repercussions are not necessarily immediate. We are now, just to recap, we're in the midst of season 2 of Strange New Worlds, so that will obviously take its course, if you will.
It's already produced. It's not like they got to still, it's not like the old days where they were still shooting week to week. Yeah.
So that I forget how many episodes are left. Probably not a lot. But probably till we're going to take it to August at the very least. There's a calendar of what comes next, but this is my thoughts. I'm interested in what y'all think. So the I don't know the exact order, but the order would be basically Lower Decks would be next, Discovery next year, and then there are stuff that is ready, or stuff that is in production. So not anymore. That was in production. Do we
feel that Lower Decks is done at this?
I think,
not Lower Decks. Is Discovery last season done?
It's done. I mean, I think it's been done for a while. Like, I think I don't know behind the scenes. I don't read all that stuff, but I think it's like it was ready to air this fall, and then for whatever reason, they pushed it because it was the last season. I had read something just today. Now, again, it's one article online. Who knows how to believe it? It sounded like they did it, and then they were like, "Oh, this is the finale." So then they had to reshoot to make it a finale.
Oh,
that's the way I read it. I'm not saying that's the gospel.
So a little
truth.
bit of reshooting for like the last 2 or 3 episodes to wrap it up.
Mm-hmm. But as far as I know, Discovery is done, ready to be whatever streamed.
So I looked over at Strange New Worlds, and it looks like the first 5 out of 10 episodes have aired.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 6 will air this week, and then episode 7, Those Old Scientists with Jonathan Frakes. Cannot wait.
That's the one where I'm going to just turn off the internet because I don't will be spoiling it left and right with pictures.
That's true. Yeah, that'll be the 27th here. Yeah.
But I guess these are my thoughts, and y'all can tell, because we were talking about the future of Trek, and these are my thoughts, and y'all can take for what it's will. 2 things. 1, things that are in production or going to be in production, and 2, things that are already done but are not yet shown. So first things in production. So in production, and of course, the way I understand the strike now, it could end tomorrow for all I know. Odds are it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I was just saying, I don't see
this
that
looks
happening.
like we're going to be here for a couple months. But anyway, so you can't cast. Like, so we're not even talking about like act. You can't cast
right
at all.
Production stops.
Yeah, you can't do anything. Like you can't audition. You can't nothing. Nothing can happen, and there's no writing. So anyway, but all that's to say. And so let's talk about what was on deck. You have, you have Section 31. I'm rolling my eyes, but theoretically that is happening. But that is,
it's definitely not moving forward.
Yeah,
at this moment.
You have Strange New Worlds season 3. I don't know if they have done anything. I assume not.
I think all they have is announced that it will be a 3rd season.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't see. And now, who knows though? But maybe that could mean if it's meant to come out next year, or because that's the thing is timelines are so long now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, oh, this is going to impact season 3 because they're going to start shooting in a month. Like, I don't think they're going to start shooting in a month. Like, even before the strike.
And then you have, and again, you can't hear me doing air quotes on a podcast. And then you have Star Trek Academy. I mean, that can't do anything. We announced it, but there's nothing you can do about it. Whether it ever happens or not. So like stuff that has been announced is happening, which we've been through this exercise before with Section 31. But I mean, what are you guys' thoughts? I mean, will it ever?
Is there anything?
And one more monkey wrench. The article I read in Gates Not Gospel, animation is in this gray area.
Well, I was just going to ask: is there a separate? Is it a separate guild for
voice actors?
For voice acting?
I believe it is their own guild. I think you could be in both, but the majority, like, there's a whole nother set of coverage for animation for voiceover.
Because that would be lower deck season 4. Because obviously,
right,
5, whatever. There's one that's going to come out this
the next
year.
one.
But the next, well, I say that we're going to talk about that in a second. But as far as the future projects, I mean, y'all are smarter than me, especially Darren, about movie stuff. But like,
I just live closer. That's all.
Well,
it's really different.
He
difference.
He walks outside and he's like, "Oh my god, there's a strike going on today."
It's like once done, a year. Well, let's just say 6 months. This goes on for 6 months. I mean, there could be Paramount may not exist anymore.
Yeah, I think that's more of your bigger concern of like. Or Paramount Plus isn't a thing anymore, or Paramount Plus has dramatically changed in what it's offering. Honestly, my initial thought is I think the Star Trek Academy, whatever they're calling it, I think it is in the most perilous situation because it feels like the kind of show that needs to happen within a certain amount of time or leadership is going to change or something's going to happen and it's going to be like, we're not really going to make that. Like it feel like, and again, this is just speculation, but it feels like, oh, we're wrapping up Discovery. We need another, live action show to kind of replace it, or we're not having less overall Star Trek shows. So yeah, we talked about, Paramount Plus and those issues last week, but yeah, it's tricky. I even saw a little clip the other day. It was the actress who plays Raffi was
Michelle Hurd,
was talking, and she said, yeah, one of the things that they're kind of miffed on is you produce a show, it all gets shot, it's in the can, and the way it used to be is it was like you were shooting for 6 months out of the year because you had 20 something episodes, so you were employed that amount of time, and then it was immediately released because that's the model. And now it's less shooting because it's only 10 episodes, and then they'll sit on it till they're ready to drop it, and they drop it all at once, and then even then they may not tell you if your show was picked up for like a year or two. And it's just, again, it's part of that is shifting away from the 22, 25 episode show paradigm, but which again, there are still shows that do that. You still have like, you had like Big Bang Theory or other, those kinds of shows were even in the era of streaming, although those were television. I guess that's the big difference. If it's just a streaming show, I mean, man, when's the last time we saw something over 10 episodes? It's been...
any other streaming shows y'all watch that have more than 10 episodes? I mean, I'd say that half jokingly.
There might be one or two that are like 12, but I'd have to really dig. Like, it's not a thing, which is weird, again, because it's like, is it because you're not filling a slot on a limited, broadcast TV, you only have so many half-hour slots to fill. So, it's a whole mess. Yeah.
So when this all first started with the streaming stuff and it's that stuff sort of shifted into shorter form storytelling, like it's telling one story instead of 20 individual stories. I imagine the idea was you could, people are paying for it anyway, so you can half the budget essentially because you're only shooting half the amount of content, but people are still willing to pay. So I imagine that's the balance here. I know a lot of it is about streaming percentages and all that sort of stuff. So it's, although I don't know, maybe it's just like the new model doesn't really work yet.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Daniel, but I'm also thinking like, okay, the amount of money it takes to produce one episode, so if you just want one episode of something, so you have to get the crew and the cast and all of that. And so I feel like number of episodes is kind of just the easier part to add to. Like making, like, granted, like you could have your big budget, super special effects. Like obviously Star Trek's kind of different, but I would think that ramping up the machine to make 10 episodes versus 12 is like a negligible amount of money because you already have the machine up and going and the cast and the crew and the facilities versus so I guess what I'm saying is I don't feel like they're using half the budget to make 10 episodes versus 20. It might just be a little less. Now granted, again, Star Trek is probably a different beast because of post-production, and like they'll wrap a year ago because it's going to sit in post-production for at least 6 months because that's just television now. You're not turning around, we got 3 weeks to make these effects and then it's going to air, that those days are gone.
Yeah, but it's like, so even like the length of an episode, right?
Right.
Used to be all dictated by just the format of television, and now that's all changed, and it's like now it's basically, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's a writing reason or a production reason or whatever, they seem to think that the 10-hour mark is kind of three movie lengths or whatever. That seems to be the stories that they're trying to tell most of the time, and it's like, I don't know, I have no idea. I don't know why that's, the people at the top make those decisions, but that just seems to be the sort of content that they're comfortable making. And like, this is across the board, right? You start with Stranger Things and go all the way to, Obi-Wan or whatever. This is just where it's all settled out. Yeah. And it's like, now that's the new model. I don't know why. It seems arbitrary, of course, but I agree with you. Why not make 15 episodes of Strange New Worlds or whatever? But we're just not. That's just not the kind of content.
I think, like you're saying, they're making a story that fills 10 episodes, and it's like, so now you're having filler for 5 just to hit a number.
Yeah,
which I don't think any of us wants.
It is interesting, and I'm sure this is true in other current franchise shows on Marvel and stuff like that. But like thinking Trek and Wars, where you can see, and because I've seen most of the Star Wars TV, you can see that there is sort of a parallel. Because as you said, the instinct at the beginning, I say at the beginning, like 3 years ago, 5 years ago, was to do the big movie. But then you've seen, and I would say like Mandalorian for Star Wars, and maybe other examples, and Strange New Worlds, and even Lower Decks with Star Trek. You have then seen this, I don't want to say reaction, but then you've seen retro going episodic. And,
right.
And so you have within a franchise, you can compare like, there's Discovering Picard, and there's Strange New World Lower. And then Star Wars, you can see with the different, Obi-Wan, because that was only a few episodes. But anyway,
Obi-Wan was like 6, and Andor was like 8 or 10, but Mando's been more like 10. It's 8 to 10 is like the sweet spot, I guess.
Think of like, that's a great point, Phil, but like compare Lower Decks with any of the other shows. And the Lower Decks is already cheaper, obviously, because it's animation and not live action. And those episodes are half the length as well.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Again, I don't know what their formula is or how they're figuring this out, but why not do twice the amount of episodes?
It'd be great to have an animated show in your pocket you've already produced. You could just put it out. Now
where the first season is 20 episodes.
That would be a great time to put that out, Paramount.
You're so super. Well, and then my second thought, and I'm trying to remember the last time we had a strike. I mean, it's been a few years. Like, it's been a few years. It's not forever.
We haven't had a
dual
strike since the 60s. It's been like 40 years.
Yeah. But I mean, there's been a writer's strike. We're in the traditional era, like the 80s is what I'm doing, hand quotes. Right. And then there's been more recent than that. But what I'm trying to say is that I think, and you guys can quote me because I'm no entertainment expert, but like, because my second thing I want to say is stuff that's already done but hasn't aired. So that's why I'm saying Discovery, Lower Decks, at the very least, right? Even though that's on the calendar, there's no guarantee they will stick to the calendar, because I get. I don't know how programming works, but like, if you don't have anything, I guess there's two schools of thought. And again, I'm not a business person. You either stick to your calendar, or you'll be like, we're putting it on a shelf until we go back to work, because why are we you can't promote it. I mean, why,
Yeah.
So it's just like, we've done this thing, and we'll just put it on the shelf until business. And I'm not from the executive standpoint. And then once we get business, we put it back on. So
it does seem dangerous to do that, though, right? Because then why do people stay subscribed at that point?
Right. Because every time you're not releasing something, you're not giving an incentive to pay.
Yeah.
And especially if you've already spent all the money, it's. But again, now we're getting this new this new card that the studios are dealing with, the whole, we'll just write off that season and take a tax break and it will never air. And it's like, we prefer you not to do that.
Because also, I don't know the thought of like, and again, this is all new territory. Well, because I don't think there's been a strike during streaming. Feel free to yell at me and correct me.
Not like modern streaming. I don't think there has.
Because I knew we're not going to see the wave in this. Like the ocean. We're going to see the wave of this as far as movies for 6 months. But TV, I'm including streaming. I don't know how soon we start seeing it. Because, I mean, once there's no new content, streaming is pretty much going to get hit. I mean, obviously you have, like, the catalog, but if you don't got no new content, you're kind of stuck
a lot
like
of
Chuck.
Movies have just shut down. We're going to see a lot of mid-season kind of pickups.
Is this correct me if I'm wrong? Because I vaguely remember the last time this happened was
this is basically COVID. If how TV and movies is, that's exactly what's going to happen. I mean,
yeah, right. But wasn't there a big explosion? Can't they still produce like reality TV?
They can.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Unscripted. You have to produce unscripted, and that was more. Well, but that was also more what is it? But see, that was the last writer's strike because you can't write
if you
scripted
look,
TV. So the fact
networks,
that the actors are also striking, so you, again, even more so, like, you're going to get this because now you can't have your actors either.
Because if you look at if you look at the American networks, because this is July, they've had to announce their schedule. Like, it wasn't like blah, 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 blah. And with the writer's strike, they were already kind of stuck like Chuck. So it's all reality. It's game shows and reality. I mean, you look at NBC, ABC, Fox, CBS. That's what it is.
Oof.
I like some reality, so I'm not here to trash that. But I mean, 100% though. I mean, it's a little much, right?
Yeah.
So
it's. I think I'm trying to think of the last big reality. Was it Big Brother that came out of the last one? I'm trying to remember. There was one or two big shows that like actually stuck.
For
the last. No, I think of the last big strike, but I can't
because I know strikes have happened, but like you said, it's always been one or the other, and so it's not memorable. I mean, like even in the heyday of Trek, and I'm TNG is what I'm saying. There were two strikes because there was season 1 and season 2, I believe, maybe more than that. But obviously we got Shades of Grey. That was season 2, but I think it happened in season 1 too. So don't might be mistaken.
No, yeah, it's very interesting, and a lot of the things that they're wanting and trying to go for, it is going to be a pivotal time for sure, because I know they're wanting more health benefits, which is a major player. And I think with streaming and AI and other things around that, this is the time to strike. Like it makes total sense that they're striking right now, because you're not seeing anything trickle down to the large, army family of people that make content. It's all staying in the studio. And I think people are just finally tired of the creative accounting. When people get a percentage point or they're just getting off of, the profitability is when they're making their money. But then these movies or these shows are never making a profit because of how Hollywood does its accounting. It does, like, everyone's kind of just tired of that.
And then also the not having a system of counting. Like, in other words, the Nielsen's are a third party. I mean, it wasn't like the networks were releasing,
but there's not that for streaming.
So even if the Netflix and Prime and all those don't release their own numbers, you still be a third party, but they don't even want that to happen. So like, there's no way to know if you're a producer, actor, talent. You have no idea if the show's a success or not. So it's up to the studio to be like, yeah, no, it's not doing well. Take our word for it.
Right.
And it's
right.
Well, okay, you guys seem to be making a lot of money, but anyway. But
again, the same thing of like, okay, you have Netflix or you have Stranger Things, like, now you're starting to see a lot of streaming content also have ads or ad supported tiers. So are those making more money for certain shows? Are they tied to show? Because there's a big disconnect between the money that is made and the content that is produced. There is not a 1-to-1. It's not like, oh, well, a lot of people watch this, or tuned in at this time, so these ads made X amount of money. Like it doesn't work that way anymore.
And I'm dumb. It's not my field. I don't understand the basic business model of streaming. Like, in other words, TV, it's like, okay, if a lot of people watch, then we can jack up our ad prices on the commercials, and that's how you make money. I'm sure there's more to it than that, but I understand that. Streaming, there's subscribers who are paying $13 a month, and you're making $1 billion TV movies. And I'm like, where do you get the rest of your money? And maybe that's the answer, is they're not. And so, but there may be more revenue I don't know about. But like, there's a difference between creating streaming content, I know, because then you can license and get that money, versus you're also doing your own service.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Being the owner of the platform and the content creator it's real murky and kind of ugly.
Well, that's the other piece of it, though. And what was it? Because I saw another article where someone was talking about during COVID, when everything was going nuts, and I think, or an election year, there's a lot going on. Anyway,
2020 was a year.
I think it was 2020 that the government like rolled back the laws, the Paramount laws, which basically made it where you can't silo. So back in the day, the Paramount laws were basically what broke up a lot of the ways that studios were siloed, and the fact that they owned production, distribution, and exhibition.
They owned theaters.
Yeah, and they said like you can't, and they're like, so it's like this theater only shows our movies, and these are the ticket prices, and that's what you're going to pay. And the not only did those get relaxed or removed, but the other tricky thing is with streaming came from tech, and tech is very siloed. You think of Apple, they own every piece of that chain and they make money on every piece. So that's also, it's a really different thing with streaming because what's the difference of Netflix, who produces, owns the method of distribution and exhibit, like they own everything. So I don't know if this strike is going to be the strike that kind of breaks that and changes it. I don't know what that would become. If Netflix in itself has to have like two companies, one company that produces and one company that runs the streaming service, I don't know if that would even happen. I don't know. I don't know if the lawmakers are strong enough or committed enough to go up against big tech in that regard, but it's kind of the exact same thing of what the studio system had, the power they had. Except for Sony's all smart when they're like, we're not making a streaming service. We're just going to license our stuff and make tons of money.
I got a Morbius for you. Anybody want my Morbius? No.
Sony doesn't have the money to bleed. I think that's the big difference there. But I always forget that Apple TV is even a thing. I don't know if you guys...
but it's probably all subsidized from everything else. It's not making the money that's being put into it. And it probably never will.
Right.
Though they can, and again, I don't know anything. They can afford to probably do it. Like, in other words,
what I'm saying
Apple
is,
can, for sure.
Apple's like, oh, we're not making money on our Apple TV. Are you going to cancel it? I don't know. We'll just keep throwing.
We're literally going to include it with every new Mac you buy, and just,
But yeah, so, I mean, all this to say, the future of, and I'm not trying to be like a pessimist or anything. I'm just trying to be like a realist that, I mean, the future of Trek doesn't look good. Now, one could also say, I don't want people to lose their jobs, of course, but like maybe it's fine if the franchise rests, hand quote, for a little bit. But I'm not against New Trek either. I'm not trying to be that guy either. But I'm just saying, once Strange New Worlds ends in a couple of weeks, we don't know what's going to happen after that for the future of Trek.
I mean, I feel like you're right. Like it could go either way. It could rest, or if anything is sticking around on Paramount Plus, it's going to be Trek. Like it's just like UPN all over again. Like Trek has bulletproof armor for as long as possible because it's their big money draw and they know it.
Do we think this affects Prodigy at all? Or they're just going to put that on a box?
I mean, they haven't written it off, so it's not like they can't release it.
Since we last recorded,
but I don't know.
They have announced Season 1, Part 2 is coming out now.
Oh, they did? I didn't see that. Okay.
Well,
they were always saying it was coming out, but it was more like we're not sure where it's coming, but it's coming out.
But like, in other words, if I can't. I mean, I can't on UK Amazon, but if you go on US Amazon right now, you'll be able to pre-order it. I think it's for next month, August or September.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know that. I didn't see that announcement. All right.
Yes. Well, I think it was kind of because, of course, I'm watching, what's his name? Aaron, the showrunner. So I've been, I pay attention to him, and he's obviously the first to be like, buy our stuff to keep it going, which I totally understand. So that's where I saw it first. So I don't think there's been like CBS, Paramount's been like, coming soon, Prodigy, the show we canceled, coming out to Blu-ray. But also one thing I saw, people have been talking to him, on Twitter, but I guess a concern, hand quote, concern is that even if Prodigy gets shopped around, whoever is going to still have to pay license. And do they want to spend that money? I mean, I don't know how much I don't know what business works, but anyway, that's a thought. But then again, if Paramount Plus crumbles, that's going to be everyone's concern about Star Trek. So, I mean, unless they're going to do it themselves, and suddenly it goes on the open market, I'm sure it's something more complicated than that. But
interesting few months, that's for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, that's just to buckle up and enjoy what we have, and things that are announced don't get married to it. That's all I'm saying. Anything that's announced, he said it's going to come out. Yeah, they said a lot of things.
We felt like that about Section 31 for many years at this point. Now
I know this is so this will be a quick 30 seconds from both of you. But Darren, give us how does this impact Star Wars, and Philip and Doctor Who? I'm just curious, real quick.
I'm trying to think of what's in production right now. Andor season 2, I think, is still in production.
So
that's shut down.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't done, I'm pretty sure.
I think
it was in production. There's going to be some things that Ahsoka is dropping on the 20th, late August. I'm pretty sure it's in the can at this point. So I don't think it's going to affect Ahsoka, but Andor might see a delay. It all depends on how long, the strike goes. But
and I guess that's what I'm curious about. Now, I think, and again, you're the Star Wars expert, but if they can't promote it, does that make them gun shy about releasing?
Possibly. We don't know their method in streaming. Is the promotion a super key factor because it gets people to sign up? I don't know. It's interesting. So I can't think of too many other things that are being paused right now, but Ahsoka should drop no issues. I'm pretty sure that's not going to be delayed. It's pretty much ready. And at this point, I think it'd be more problems for them to choose to delay it. I don't think they would do that.
Now, to answer your question, and this may or may not include Star Wars, because I'm not 100% on how the TV series are filmed and with who. Obviously, Doctor Who's not affected at all because it's not in the U.S.
Right.
So I'm curious because the union here, trying to think of the word, the union here is called Equity. So SAG-AFTRA is U.S. And so what you've been seeing, this is a potential worry from a labor standpoint, is that they could come to the UK and start doing stuff.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Because,
or Vancouver. We're already doing a lot of production outside the U.S. But I can't see. But see, SAG remembers. That's the thing. If you're a SAG actor and you go to the UK to make content during the SAG-AFTRA strike, it's not going to go well for you when you come back.
The UK actors.
That's true. That's true.
The problem is not that. We're getting a little deep into management labor law. It's not that the actors in the UK may not have solidarity, because they'd be like, oh yeah, it's against the law in the UK for them to do that. So if they're an equity actor employed under an equity contract,
if equity isn't striking, they can't in solidarity
illegally cannot go on strike because of another solidarity thing. You have to be on strike for you. You know what I'm saying?
They should just take a page from America and be like, hey, we don't like this law. We're going to just throw tea in the harbor and do what we want. Yeah, no, that makes sense, though.
A headline that I saw that, again, if you're a labor person, it's weird to say that because that's a political party in this country. If you're a labor person, there's a headline. House of Dragon is still going because they got UK people. So
that's interesting. I guess I never really, I guess I never thought about it, but like all those CW shows are all produced in Canada and all that sort of stuff. And I've never really considered that. I don't know how they would regulate it or whatever, but if you're making content for like an American production company in another country, it's just I never really considered the ramifications of what that might mean. And I don't know how you would match those things up, because obviously
I think it's going to be a challenge for this particular strike, because since the 60s, we are way more interconnected, and a lot of, just Star Trek, all of Star Trek is shot in the UK, in Canada. It's not like you go down to Studio 9 of Paramount, that those days are gone. So
and I'm curious. I mean, this is a little minutia. So we don't want to get into it. I wonder how everyone is contracted, because I mean, there's not all. It's not an American cast. Nurse Chapel, I believe she's from New Zealand or Australian. I can't remember which one.
Well, but even if she could be a SAG actor, though. That's the thing. Again, I don't know how that works.
Then I'm wondering, House of Dragon, is it? I don't. Again,
but I could also see what the point I was going to say though was that during this strike, let's say the strike goes 6 months, the production companies are going to be like screaming that they need new stuff. So I could totally see them saying like, okay, well, we're just going to go up to Canada and grab a bunch of Canadian actors and make a new show that is scripted television. And I don't know where they're going to get their writing. Like that's the main trick. But yeah, and then the Directors Guilds are all, they already settled and they're kind of regretting not.
And they're getting side-eyed hard by someone else. But anyway,
mess.
Yeah, one of the concerns, and again, I'm not an expert, I'm going to just keep saying that, just, check other sources, is that during the strike, companies will go overseas. Because we need new content. We're not just going to sit here and negotiate.
It will happen.
But where's the next Squid Game?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But again, with streaming and just reality, or not reality, but like broadcast TV, I don't know. It's a really interesting time, but I feel like we got to buckle up. Like the unions are really, like, they realize if they don't hold firm now, they're going to get screwed for the next 50 years. And so they're holding as best they can.
And the studios are not budging. And so it's both sides. I mean, again, I'm not, whatever, but yeah, both sides are definitely not moving. So, yeah. So again, but as far as the future of Trek, we got Strange New Worlds, and I'm enjoying it. We don't need to go out into the episodes right now. But after that, we will see. Sure. So just for a couple more minutes, just wanted to talk about some other news. Manny Coto, who was a writer and then the showrunner for season 4 of Enterprise, died the other week. And I mean, I say young, he's 60s. That's pretty young. So anyway, I just thought we'd talk about a little bit about him and just Enterprise. I don't think I know. You all know the story about Enterprise? I mean, like, in other words, that basically, I was hearing Larry Nemechek talking about this, where like season 3 ended, and there was some meeting where they said, we'll do one more season, but not with Brandon and Burma.
So Brandon, you're out. Manny, you're in.
Yeah, because I saw Brandon was still listed as a producer, but maybe he wasn't executive producer. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably one of those things, like he can't, like he was there when it was created, so like they can't take his name off, but he's not in power, as it were. Which makes me laugh to a certain extent, because I always talk Berman era. Technically, it's Berman era asterisk last year. I mean, it doesn't quite roll off the tongue, but yeah, I see what you're saying. But anyway, so yeah, him, because he was the guy in season 4 of Enterprise. And I was reading, because I know him from Enterprise or from Star Trek. I don't really know him from what other, but he's done other stuff. He was, I don't know if he was the showrunner. I'll just say executive producer. Someone else can correct me exactly what he was. He was the executive producer of 24 for like 3 or 4 of its seasons after Enterprise. I think directly after. And then he was a showrunner for 1 season of Dexter. So he did other stuff. But I mean, those were sort of like the big things and the recent stuff that we would know. So yeah, what do y'all think? What's your season 4 Enterprise? I mean, he directed Star Kid in '97, so that's
nice. Oh my god!
And Xenon the sequel. Okay, directing career not as hot as some of the others.
Season 4, obviously, a big shakeup, big difference. You could tell he was leaning a lot heavier into the fan stuff and the older stuff, doing all that. It's good. I like season 4. It's good. It's fine. I'd say, I don't know if I could pick a favorite season of Enterprise, because they're all so different. Well, 1 and 2 are kind of the same, but 1 and 2 and then 3 and then 4 are very, very all different from each other. It just felt like he was shoving as much references and member berries and stuff in there that he possibly could. which is fine. It's fine. I liked it.
I wonder, and again, I'm not an Enterprise expert. It'd be interesting whether, because people will be like, some people will be like, "Oh, season 4, that's how it should have been the whole time." And I was like, I mean, I don't disagree if that's your opinion, but like, I almost wonder if season 4, like, they didn't care anymore, like studios didn't care anymore. Like, he did everything he could because they didn't care. We'll give you another season because we don't give about this show anymore. Sure, you do your whatever you want to do, and so he could do it. Whereas, if he was running season 1, would have been very different because the studios did care then, and so.
Well, I wonder if that was the studio caring more, or it was
I say UPNs, whatever.
Right. Or was it God, the name of the guy, Berman? Was it Berman that was the one that was stopping all of that sort of stuff from going through? And maybe that's why it was so easy. It could be a little bit of column A.
I'm trying to remember who was it, Berman or the studio that wanted? I think it was Berman that initially wanted the we're on Earth the first season and we launch at the end of season 1, and then the studio was like, no, you're going to be in space on day 1. I think that was how it shook out.
Yeah, and just having and again, I don't know if we've just made this up in our head, but that like it's going to look like the Enterprise. You can't do any weird thing about we know what the ship looks like. We want it to look like that. Yeah, so season 4, again, I'm rewatching season 3, so I can, I'll get there. But I think with season 4, it did a lot of stuff that was very different, and I'm not saying good nor bad. It did a lot more 3-parters, which obviously outside of Deep Space Nine never happens, in Star Trek. But I don't know. I don't know how much Daniel it happens in DS9 because the only 3-parters I can remember. You correct me. In the end of season 1 was a 3-parter, I think, right? The Circle trilogy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know it's very serialized, so it's hard to be like, these were 3-parters. Like,
yeah,
the whole thing.
It's kind of tough, yeah.
Well, the beginning of season 2 of DS9, is that what you're talking about? The Circle and all that? Trilogy. That was 3.
Oh, was that season 2? Sorry. Season 1.
It was the beginning of the next season, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because, I mean, with this is off the top of my head. With season 4, you had Soon and the Augments. That was 3-part. I feel like there's another
where
one.
Brent got to play another character in the same family.
He's the one who really started it.
Was he? Because we got a further back version of Soon who would have started it even beforehand when he switched from whatever he was genetics to
cybernetics.
Oh, cybernetics. That's right.
Yeah.
I know was that a 2-part at the end with the whatever that thing is called.
Terra Prime. Yeah. These are the voyages. Well, again, there's that
the
whole.
Vulcan. Was that 3-parters? The Vulcan storyline where they went to Vulcan, and they turned out to be secret Romulans and all that stuff. Anyway,
I don't know. I don't think so. What about the
well, you also have way less episodes in season 4. I'm looking at the grid, and season 1 and 2 had 26.
Yeah, is the full to do.
And 3 had 24, and 4 had 22. So they lost 4 episodes over the
and
attrition.
You know what the 22nd episode was, so that's really 21.
Right.
And honestly, I don't mean to badmouth. Get rid of episode 1 too. That was the Archers on Nazi Earth. I'm like, oh god, no.
Oh yeah, that's such a weird. That was such
episodes.
weird. Yeah.
Well, that was the first 2 episodes because Stormfront. It's Stormfront and Stormfront Part 2.
Episodes. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
And they aired separately. So so that was, and then episode 3 we have Home. What was going on in there?
I'm sure it was like family except home.
Yeah, it's the end of the Xindi mission. We're welcome back. We're doing repairs.
That's where Archer climbs the mountain with Captain
Hernandez.
Yeah.
Erica Hernandez.
And they climb the mountain.
Whoa.
She's been appointed to Starfleet's second Warp 5 ship,
Columbia.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, I think you're right. Like a lot of things that just weren't in earlier seasons, because I'm sure there was a directive of you can't have another ship that looks just like our ship. And then in season 4, they're like, sure, put a 2 on it. We don't care. Use the same model.
Yeah, and I'm not going to do all of season 4 in my head at the same time. But like, I know it's a hard thing to do if you know when you started, because presumably they did, that this is it. So you're like, well, okay, if this is it, the whole point. Well, I don't know if the whole point of Enterprise, like if you ask season 1, was the whole point we're going to tell the tale of the building of the Federation? I don't know if we're putting that into it. Like, if you were
I don't think
planning
it was.
sessions.
Yeah. That's and again, you're at this weird period of like, the fact that it is kind of it's this weird hybrid of like episodic and non-episodic. It's like you're telling both at the same time, which is doable, but yeah, I don't know.
Because I was watching.
I mean,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, this is the same thing that bothers me about Strange New Worlds, but it's when you place a show in a certain time period, certain time frame, right? Like allegedly in season 5, we would have gotten the Romulan War. You expect this. You expect certain events to take place and certain things to be, and it's like, but then if you ignore those parameters, it's like, why even set the show during this time frame? I don't know, like,
right?
Why bother
if it's
doing
just
that?
Another Enterprise out there, why not set it after Enterprise D and make it the E's adventures? Like, why not? Like, that's true. If you're not going to mine the past because you're there,
if they're not going to do a founding of the of Starfleet, then why even have
less about captain? Well, again, it's hard to say. That was a really good question, Philip. I wish I had a memo in front of me that said like, we're founding the Federation.
Memos,
because like, you have a lot of Andorians and later Tellarites, but also we kind of spend a ton of time with Xindi species, which never come up later. So it's
and to me, I don't know, and I don't want to talk negative about a man's career. There are certain things not my taste, and I'll just leave it at that. But when I found out he went on 24 after Enterprise, I'll just say I was not surprised, because I looked at some of his season 3 episodes. I think he wrote 3. I mean, I'm sure the writers room, whose ever name gets on there, I'm sure. But anyway, there was
he wrote quite a few. Similitude,
Sacred Ground,
Chosen Realm.
I was talking to you about that in the chat the other day.
Part of Harbinger. He was on the team who did Prime. Harbinger, and then the Council.
Oh yeah.
That's and Azadi Prime. Yeah, so he was solo and like 3 and like with others. Like story, he got like story. I think it's story treatment. It's ST. I'm not sure. Oh, story and teleplay. Got it.
Did you ever watch 24?
Nope.
I watched a few seasons of it. Like maybe the first 3 seasons.
Okay. Because I've never watched it, so this is going to be one of those people who's going to complain about something he's never watched. I'm saying that up front. The vibe I got was not for me, and also like it seemed. And this is you, Darren. You've seen it. You tell me I'm wrong. That it was more like torture is cool because there's always a ticking bomb, and we, sort of the ends justify the means. Because
oh, you mean like
the terrorist
what the characters do? Yeah, I mean,
you can tell me if I'm wrong.
I don't particularly remember it being super torture filled. Maybe it was, but I think the really interesting parameter was always like geography. Geography really plays a huge part in 24 because there's literally only so much physical distance you can travel in one day. So if you're going to set it in like LA, like you're not leaving LA for a day. Like you're going to have one person be like, okay, I'm getting on a plane. Okay, well, that's going to be 3 episodes of you flying somewhere. Yeah. It's like, that doesn't really mean anything. So yeah, it's like really drilling down to the inciting incident, like has to happen really soon because it's all going to be the fallout. But yeah, because I mean, we say 24, but we're only seeing like I guess it was an hour show. It must have been. So,
yeah. 50 minutes per hour.
But yeah, but they, the timer would start, we'd go to commercial, we'd come back and time has passed and we're like, what happened during those minutes?
All the bathroom stuff.
Yeah.
Well, because my point is like Archer in season 3, and he's not always the same every episode, but that's, it's an episodic thing. What are you going to do? Even in the serial of Xindi War. But like, he is, I will do anything for this mission. Like, shooting people out of an airlock, creating clones and shooting them, and killing them, whatever. And it's like, there's never, I can get it where he's coming from, but there's never like come to Jesus moment of the end of like.
It's hard because Archer's still developing as a character, but we also kind of want him to already have established morals that he sticks to, but we kind of can't have both.
Yeah, because you don't necessarily see the arc. That's literally what I'm about to describe. You don't see the arc. I'm doing the hand motion. That's what an arc is called. Of where he has to like, he wants to maintain his naivety and innocence. And look, I'm not saying there's any right or wrong. This is all fiction. Right or wrong. And then, he finds himself where he's forced to do this. And then he does these bad things. And then there's a moment later where he has to reconcile. And either he reconciles it, or he says, very Cisco, I did what I had to do with the Romulan episode and all that. But it's like episode 1 of season 3, like, I'll throw him out of the airlock. I'm like, oh God, okay. Cause there's even episodes like Similitude. If y'all remember that that's the, if we ever do 2 episodes comparing that and, Tuvix. Cause it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's literally the same thing.
It is the same thing.
Similitude just flies under the radar whenever we talk about Tuvix. Cause like Archer's like, because Sim, the clone, is like,
Man,
I don't do it if I have to.
There are a lot of Trek actors who directed in season 3. Like I'm seeing LeVar Burton, Roxanne Dawson, Robert Duncan McNeil. Like their names are all over. Like the 3 of them probably directed like half the season.
Roxanne still directs, right?
I'm pretty sure she does.
Yeah.
Why isn't she? She hasn't done any of the new Trek stuff, right? I haven't seen her or heard from her in a long time.
Know.
Has Robbie? I know Jonathan does it. I don't think Robbie.
I don't know if he does either. But he because when I was listening to the podcast that he does with Garrett, he would always talk about the things he was directing. He did do Discovery. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Pretty sure. But
so I think she's kind of done directing. The last thing I see she directed was an episode of The Closer in 2011. She hasn't.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
So I think she's kind of done. I mean, she's 64, fine. So maybe she just decided she was kind of done for that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, obviously, Manny contributed significantly to Star Trek. Obviously, not Enterprise, to Star Trek, the whole franchise. I mean, I like, there's a lot of memorable stuff in season 4. I mean, we're going to leave the infamous stuff aside, but the Mare 2-parter. They're all 2-parters or 3-parters. But the Mare episode, obviously, he was under his showrunnership. And all this other stuff of establishing the Federation and all that. So, yeah.
Actually, sorry, I'll take that statement back. I think Wikipedia is just lagging and not, they haven't updated the list because there's other things saying that she's done like The Americans and,
IMDb.
And yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And House of Cards, which are all after that. So
I didn't know she directed House of Cards. Okay.
Wikipedia, goodbye. I don't like going to IMDb, but I will in this moment. And then trying to figure out what I'm trying to figure out is going to be really tricky.
But yeah, I guess he was the last showrunner of what we call Legacy Trek, because obviously after that there was no more Star Trek until the Kelvin-verse films. And
okay, yeah, no, the last thing she's directed was in 2023, so she's still totally active. She's done The Foundation. She's done some of the morning show.
Oh, she's Apple TV now.
Okay,
yeah,
there you go.
House of Cards and upcoming Dark Matter. I guess that's another TV.
We'll see.
Series.
It's upcoming.
Yeah, in production. So
she'll be there.
So she's super active. Yeah.
Yeah. So Darren retracts his ageist statement.
I do. I am. Wikipedia was wrong. Don't, kids, cite your sources.
Cool. All right. Well, any final thoughts about either the future of Star Trek or the past of Star Trek in the form of Enterprise?
Buckle in. It's going to be a long one. Hopefully everybody comes out on top in this. Except for the people at the top, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, they'll really be hurting no matter what they do.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Yeah, we'll see. It's gonna be really interesting. It's fun. I crack up at all of the executives or like, what's the Disney exec?
Oh, I saw that.
Where Bob, it's just like this is really bad time for striking. Like it's really adding pressure. It's like that you do like the point of a strike, right, is to cause financial pressure. Like it's not like, oh, we're only going to strike on every Tuesday and hopefully you'll pay attention. It's like, no, that's not the point.
This is a really bad time as he then walks away from an interview into his private jet going off.
Yeah.
I'm not even making that up. That's
no, that's what happened. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I saw it was Anson Mount, I think. Maybe I'm wrong.
I saw that tweet too.
But where he said, basically, I can't tell you what to do, but I'm going to be canceling all my subscriptions. So,
Yeah.
If there's, what people do whatever you want. I'm not telling anyone to do anything or encouraging, but like, when Strange New Worlds ends, if there is no new Star Trek, I'm going to cancel my Paramount Plus. Now, what I'm not then telling you is I will then probably get Paramount US because there's going to be some American stuff I want to watch. But anyway, reality stuff we don't get here. So Big Brother starts this in August. I want to watch that. So anyway,
hey, it's reality TV. It's going to keep going. Wow, what season of Big Brother is this? My God,
it's going to be 23.
Oh my gosh.
23, I think. 23 or 24.
So started in 2000. That's nuts.
Yeah, which is the same year Survivor started. So
yeah.
Still going.
Is Survivor still going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, those powers.
Amazing Race, all that stuff.
That's the trio that powers CBS.
That's wild.
Because they're all CBS.
But again, if it still makes money, it's like, why? And at least they're doing something new each time.
Cheap,
yeah.
Yeah. You got to, for Big Brother,
they own that island they shove them on now. They're not renting it anymore. They're like, and they're even going to get double where they'll be like, the Amazing Race, and you're going to race to this remote island that we just happened to, it's all like, and Big Brother Island Edition. It's like we're just going to get as much money out of that 5 kilometers of beach that we can.
I remember it's the only season I've watched. I remember when Love Island in the U.S. because it started here in the UK. Love Island U.S. during COVID, and it was the only season I watched of Love Island. It's because of COVID. Of course, they couldn't go to an island, and they did it in Vegas. So it was just like Love Island,
like in the
apartment.
sand.
We've they did a little thing, but like it was sort of like in Vegas. So it was like. Again, it's very inexpensive show because the place, and then you have to like catering. Right, that's it.
Set up cameras,
room and board, and then cameras, and then like some props for games and stupid games and stuff. But that's about it. Very
like
cheap.
$2 million to produce the entire show or something like that. Yeah.
I am interested and we'll close here, but I am interested, and again, I hope people get back to work and all that. But the last strike, when was this? Oh, because it can't be the rest of the writer's strike. When Captain Hammer, it's not the name, but Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. When that came out.
Yeah.
That was during the strike.
So that was during the writer's strike.
Because you can do independent, truly independent. You can do independent stuff during a strike. So I'm wondering if we're going to get any little vignettes.
Dr. Horrible's blog was in
Get to writing, Felicia
2008.
Day.
That's right. 2008 was the last big writer's strike. But it wasn't also an actor's strike. So, yeah, I think my last thoughts are it's going to also be really interesting because we're already seeing a little tumultuation with influencers because you're seeing like other things, like studios want to promote their movies and they're like, oh, we'll just grab these influencers. And they're like, oh, well, we're not in SAG, so it's not scabbing. It's like, no, it's literally the definition of scabbing is crossing that line. So yeah, that's a whole new flavor that wasn't in 2008. That wasn't a thing.
And then there's it's still being debated. I say debated. It's still being figured out because live on Twitter from actors. I'm like, talk to your lawyers. Don't do it on Twitter. But as far as cons, because I mean, it's very clear you cannot do new stuff.
Right.
The question is,
I think
if I'm Michael Dorn, can I go to a con and talk about Next Generation?
Right. I think so, but I don't. But that is a good question. Yeah. Because I have a friend out here that was like, yeah, I just got my list, and it's like my schedule's opened up, and it's like, do just all these things, and I'm like, oh man, like if you can't. But I think the keynote of what you're saying is all of that is connected with in the lens of new stuff that you're promoting, like anything past. But I am not a lawyer. Do not quote me on that.
And then I also assume some actors will be on the fence, even if it is, I say legal, if it's allowed by SAG-AFTRA would be the best way to say that.
They're still helping the company. So
you're still a little solidarity. So it's complicated, I'm sure, because also you want to make money if you're,
right.
Anywho.
Hang on, it sounds like what you guys are saying is the only way to save Star Trek now is having a Star Trek reality show.
Oh man, what would that even be?
Fan film after fan film. Where's your guidelines now, Paramount?
Paramount buys Star Trek Continues and releases those 10 episodes because they have nothing else to broadcast.
I would love for Paramount to be like hat in hand and be like, so if any fans want to make it, we have a short Trek contest going on.
Yeah. We made those rules that you can't really make. We know you don't. We'll relax those rules we made where you can only do a fan film that's 5 minutes and can't use any actors from. It's like, actually, we want that. We want that.
Oh boy!
Just please up your green screen game just a little. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, until next week, when Star Trek will still exist, as far as we know. I'm Philip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
And I'm Darren Moser.
Stranded here on strike on City Alpha 3.